Welcome back, you lazy people. So, as the title suggests, I ran 149 kilometers in 90 days. And I did this against my doctor's recommendation. I did it against experienced marathoners telling me not to do it because body does not recover after a marathon. The reason why I'm doing this video is, one is because I want to tell you that the mind and body can do way more than what you can actually think of. Two, I want new runners who are looking to start their marathon journey to take some idea or inspiration from me, because I've done it in terms of fueling, in terms of footwear, in terms of mindset. If that helps you, that'd be great. People who have done marathons, if you stumble across this video, you know what I'm talking about. If you want to stay through the story, you're welcome. You can relate because you've been through that. Right, let's just jump straight into it, right? I did 3 half marathons and 2 full marathons in the span of 3 months. I was training for all of this for almost 6 months. So how I started this off was I initially planned to do 1 Hyrox, 1 half marathon, 1 full marathon by the end of December last year. I did a Hyrox. So I did my first half marathon in November. I did that in 1 hour, 1 hour, 52 minutes. It was actually a very fun half marathon because it was my first time running a marathon in general, but also it was a very interesting learning aspect of this half marathon because that was supposed to set me up for Abu Dhabi full marathon. I ran as per plan. The mistakes I did here was I wore the ZoomX Fly carbon fiber plated shoe, which I shouldn't. Again, I didn't know this back then. I just went by what YouTube told me, what people told me. Number one learning here: know your body, know your feet, know what kind of runner you are to wear the right shoe. I would have worn the EVO SL or anything not carbon fiber because my leg does not suit carbon fiber shoes. Fueling is another thing I learned from the half marathon. I left it too late. I left my first gel at 15 kilometers, whereas it had to be 40 minutes in. This is one big mistake I did, so I didn't get enough energy to finish strong. After finishing this half marathon, my eyes were set on the prize goal, which was Abu Dhabi marathon, almost a month away, or less than a month, 3 weeks away. I was prepping properly for it. The biggest mistake I did after the half marathon was I was so upset that I didn't hit the target of 1 hour 45 minutes. The next day morning or the following day, I ran a very fast, I think I did a 10K in 49 minutes. And I only did it because I was so frustrated and angry with myself that I couldn't do what I had set out to do. Biggest mistake. Because my legs weren't recovered, that backfired. That set me back 3-4 days recovery because my legs were stiff the next day. It was the biggest mistake. And I was still so keen that I went ahead and did 30-kilometer long run the following week, which flared up my IT band, which also affected the patella and all of that, which again made me sit down for 2 weeks. Out of the 3 weeks that I had, I was literally out for 2 weeks after the half marathon. Don't do that. That's another thing you guys got to understand. If you are doing something like this, rest is more than enough because the engine should have already built over that 6 months of training if you have done that. 1 week before the Abu Dhabi marathon, I was doing a pigeon stretch at home and I kind of strained my patellar tendon on the knee, and I didn't know at that point in time, but next morning when I woke up, I couldn't walk. So the 1 week before the full marathon of Abu Dhabi that I trained for 6 months was in disarray, might not even happen. But then I was in so much stress the whole week. I waited out to see how my leg behaves. Friday, I went for a recovery run. I was able to run, but I knew my leg was 90% fucked. There was chances were very low. But I still showed up at Abu Dhabi marathon with a knee brace, and I started running. First 6 kilometers, beautiful. After 6 kilometers, my left leg went numb. Couldn't feel it for at least 10-15 kilometers. When the time I started feeling it was when pain hit me, excruciating pain. My whole pace, strategy of fueling, everything was down the drain. Now I'm doing survival race where I'm doing 500 meters run, 500 meters walk. 30 kilometers in, my right leg that was taking all the load started cramping up. One, because of the shoe, because I was wearing a New Balance Rebel V4 with the carbon fiber. It is a great shoe for sub 4 hours, but when you're doing such a race where your whole thing is on the right leg and the carbon plate is pushing you, doesn't really fare well, does it? For my luck, I found someone on the street who offered me salt, and I kept putting that into my mouth and running through that race or crawling through that race. I was the last 4-5 people who completed that race in 6 hours. I'll put up the stats here for you to have a look. This race basically taught me how deep I can dig in, to myself how much I can push my body. I learned that day that my body is way more capable of what I can actually think. I know you guys would have heard this from a lot of people, but that's actually true. When you're in a situation like this, God forbid you're not, but if you are, you will know your body can go through way more than you think. Your mind is the key. What you tell your mind, your body will do. When you come last, no one gives a shit about you. When I finished that race, everyone are wrapped up and gone. Unlike Ironman, people would be like, come on, the last few people are like, they have an aura, right? In Ironman, when you finish, the last few people are giving so much importance. In marathon in Abu Dhabi, it was just like, you got picked up your medal, you drove. I ran for 6 hours, I drove for 2 hours back home. Either way, I did what I set out to do. Now, I had, again, 3 weeks before the second half marathon, which is the Dubai Creek half marathon. It's an OG half marathon in UAE, in Dubai. If you run here, you know what I'm talking about. I was 100% fit for this. I went with the EVO SL non-carbon fiber plated shoe with the proper fueling plan. I was set to do again 1 hour 45 minutes, but I didn't know this was a fucking technical course. It went under bridges, over bridges, through street parks, footpaths, Dubai Souk, Old Souk, name it. It was like running on the streets, narrow lane. So here you needed to be more technically sound with your pacing, your breathing. You need to be more explosive. You needed to know how to hold pace in very tricky turns. It was very good. I would rate it as one of the best half marathons in UAE. If you guys are watching from a different country, you want to do it, you should try this out. And they also hands down give the best race pack ever. Best race pack with all the fuel you need 3 days before the race, all the fuel you need during the race, everything you need was in that race pack. I've done all these races. Trust me, this was worth bang for the buck. Take away from this, I could have done better. I didn't do anything wrong with my fueling. I didn't do anything wrong with my shoes. Just this year, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to make sure I do a better run. 3 weeks down was Dubai Marathon. Again, I was feeling fresh, ready for it. I wore the New Balance Rebel, fueling strategy, everything on point. So I started off as planned, 15 kilometers to 20 kilometers as planned, 5:10, 5:15, 5 pace. Fueling was on point, everything was good. Sun came up. As the sun came up, I started sweating more salts off my body. I started cramping up, 20 kilometers down, 20 kilometers, 22 kilometers left. It was a struggle. It was a mental and physical battle. And I remember the Abu Dhabi marathon. I said, if I could do that in 6 hours, I'm pretty sure I'll complete this. It was a fight against my body. It was a fight against everything I had planned out to do to complete 5 races in 90 days. And I persevered through it. And I completed that Dubai marathon in 5 hours. Biggest takeaway from all of this Dubai marathon was salt tabs are the most important thing I should be taking, and I didn't do it for 3 races in a row. This was the 4th race, and I learned that in Dubai marathon. That was my biggest takeaway. Now 1 week later is Burj to Burj, which is the biggest famous half marathon that UAE has. Everyone loves doing it. After Dubai marathon, I couldn't walk until Thursday, Friday. My body was not set. I thought I would not even make it. But somehow on Saturday, I did a recovery run and my shins were killing me. I knew my body was destroyed. My legs were finished, but I didn't want to give up. I woke up in the morning and I had 2 painkillers, which is the biggest mistake because then I ended up dehydrating myself already. I still didn't get my salt tabs because I was like, it's a half marathon. Why do you need it? You know, biggest mistake again. I started Burj to Burj extremely strong because there was no pain because of the painkillers. I was doing great paces, proper fueling. Everything was going amazing until I hit the first bridge. As soon as I went on that incline, my shins blew out. It flared up. I was in excruciating pain going up and then coming down that bridge. But I didn't drop pace. I said I'm going to push through this pain. So I didn't drop too much of a pace. Once you come down, it is cobbled pebble roads and tarmac. So that patches of thing keeps going all the way. If you live in Dubai, you know Jumeirah Road, it's all the way till the finish line. So 10 kilometers. Every time I was on the pebble cobble road, I was dying because your foot is like this. So your shins are in play a lot, right? When you're on tarmac, it's just this. But on this, it's uneven, it's painful. I would have a stress fracture on them, but I said, no, I will not give up. I have come so far. Nothing can take this away from me. And I went through it. I just zoned out from every thought I could and just thought of the finish line and I ran. I again did 1 hour 50, 1 hour 51. That's not bad with so much of a shin splint. And I ran multiple races to keep that same time. I realized my engine was amazing, but it was just the legs were destroyed. Takeaway from here is don't fucking do a half marathon after a full marathon with the 1 week difference. You're just stupid. I'm stupid. Don't do it. I'm a guy who is a sprinter for 100, 200 meters. I am a striker in a football game. I'm a quick runner between wickets in cricket, coco, volleyball. But I never did endurance. I couldn't last 800-meter run. The biggest thing was, can I sustain endurance sports? And can I do 5 races? And I've done it. Just to summarize all of it. Firstly, never do another marathon or half marathon. If you finished a marathon, give it 3 to 6 months for your body to actually recover. There are so many minute tears in your body, you'll never know. You need salt tabs. You need to know when to fuel. You need to have the right shoes. All of this, if you don't have, you are going to face consequences at some point of the race or the other. You know, you've now realized that your mind and your body can push through a lot more than you actually know. These are the takeaway for newbies who are running your races. How you plan your paces and stuff, I can maybe talk in a different video, but this is just to tell you about this story. If you have any questions, you have any doubts, you can drop a comment. You can DM me on Instagram as Lazy Athlete as well. I'll put out another video talking about what races I'll be doing this year, but it'll not be like what happened last year. This time I want to do a proper good timing finish, maybe a win, give enough time for recovery, all of it. Before I go, I just want to tell you that after I'd finished all these 5 races, my body was destroyed. It destroyed to an extent that I could not walk properly for 3 months. I had to start running only after 5 months, and that run was only 2 kilometers with my heart rate at 180. It felt like I was pushing against 10 people to take 2-3 steps. It was that bad. It took me a lot of time to recover from that, my body to recover, my legs to recover. I couldn't do anything extreme after that marathons. So now, past 2 months, I'm able to get back to who I was, how I was running. So keep in mind, it's very dangerous, very risky. I don't suggest you guys to do this. Either way, that's it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Stay lazy. I'll see you on the next one.